Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan, I'm a former Royal Marines Commando, and I've just realised it is the wrong date, 10th of August, so I'll change that, troops. I know you get onto me quite a lot. Today we're going to be doing an update on Ukraine. I'm going to give this one little chance again. I haven't done an update in a while. The videos weren't really getting the views that I previously was getting when I first started doing updates. I'm going to give it another chance. All right, that's what I'm going to do, and we're going to jump straight in with a bit of an update using the interactive map of Ukraine. So let's just get into it. We got this bit of news, a little bit of a map study, and yeah, we're going to see how it goes, guys. If you want to see these going forward, please comment below. Let me know if it's something that you actually appreciate, and I'll keep doing them because I haven't done it in a long time. So without further ado, map study. How I'm going to do this is just literally go from the top in terms of the live news. This was updated 11 minutes ago, so I don't know how up to date and accurate the information is, but it's relatively updated and it's relatively accurate. So 1 person killed, 14 wounded as a result of Russian missile strike with Iskander missile at Ricard's hotel in Zaporizhzhia. Wow. So a hotel, whereabouts are we looking at here? Okay, let's have a bit of a zoom in. Okay, so quite a densely populated area right next to river systems and stuff. I remember talking about this on previous updates. And 1 person killed, 14 wounded. Quite a serious thing there. So not too sure who those 14 people are. Is if it's just normal civilians, if it's Russian or Ukraine troops, I'm not too sure. Just the right hand side of that, we've got Russian army conducted missile strike against residential areas in Zaporizhzhia. So this is just obviously a missile strike, an artillery strike, whatever. It's causing a lot of damage. This isn't showing the hotel. Obviously, this is just a bit of woodland with a big hole in the ground. Obviously, devastating to whoever it may have hit. I don't know if this was targeted to anyone specifically, but that's certainly not the hotel. That, however, looks like it could be the hotel in question. Yeah, so I'm just trying to have a look at the actual area. Let me zoom in a touch. Absolute devastation, guys. We've got press there to the right-hand side, as we can see. All of the cars in the vicinity absolutely decimated, blown up to bits. Yeah, no one's going to really survive this kind of thing. There's the press guy there, guys. I don't know if this building just looks like that, but it looks as if it was reasonably damaged anyway. Obviously, the missile strike's going to have really caused a lot of most of that damage. But we're just trying to figure out if this area had been blasted up previously. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that it probably was. These walls here, central, look like they've been, rebuilded in some places. Maybe it's even fortified. So I don't know if this hotel was being used as a position for Ukraine soldiers to, work out of, like a FOB, forward operating base or something like that. But that's what's going on there, troops. Quite big, to be honest with you. That was 3 hours ago. Mandatory evacuation declared in Kupiansk district of Kharkiv region. Let's have a look at this. So let's zoom out and get myself reacquainted. Okay, so we're talking about the areas in which the original first counteroffensive started. We've got loads of these mandatory evacuations declared all the way up that line there. Obviously, the areas in which we've got Ukraine residents moving back in since the whole counteroffensive took place. It seems like a long time ago. I want to see if I can read this. Mandatory evacuation declared in Kupiansk district. Obviously, that's in a different language, but I'm guessing if anyone can see what that says, who speaks or can read the language, That's just an order, though, isn't it? Mandatory audit. So these people are going to have to get back out there. So that tells me, obviously, without being too acquainted of the situation in Ukraine, that this whole area is a bit of a threat again. Maybe that tells a story with regards, Ukraine. Maybe it's going to be getting pushed back by the Russian forces. I'm not too sure. A counteroffensive of their own. But there's quite a lot of shelling going on there. Only 11 hours ago, Kupiansk direction, Russian army shelled the areas within the Kharkiv region. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine says in the morning report. Just north of that, we've got arms fire. Russian forces conducting offensive actions in Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Ukraine military had 30 combat engagements with Russian forces north of Snifkivka and northeast Ivanka, Kharkiv region. So these regions, east of Donetsk region, are getting attacked by Russian forces, actively conducting offensive operations within these areas. So compared to the last time I was talking about this, Ukraine Ukraine forces were conducting offensive actions within these areas themselves and making good headway and gaining a lot of land. Seems to have changed an awful lot. A lot of these areas that we're talking and I'm mispronouncing, it rings a bell from the last time I was talking about it. But it seems to be going in the opposite direction. It shows you how long it's been since we actually did an update on this, guys. There's quite a few things going on. There's areas getting evacuated. We've got 6 people wounded as Russian army shelled Belaruska in Kherson. So again, we've got Kherson. It seems to be coming from all fronts now, guys. Multiple directions. When I was first talking about this, there was always specific areas that they were talking about and targeting, but there seems to be quite, sparsely. The battlefield is obviously massive. The front line is huge. Okay, it's a massive area, but it seems to be quite sparsely affected now instead of just condensed into one area. In which that's how it was when I was doing these updates earlier. So Kherson, 6 people wounded as Russian army shelled Belaruska. So that's the northern side of the Kherson River. Ukrainian Defense Forces continue offensive operations in Bakhmut. We've seen, obviously, what happened there. They have partial success towards those regions in the south and southeast. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine says in the morning report. So even... Where is Bakhmut again? Let me see. So we've got different areas. Is that Bakhmut? Operations of Bakhmut. Where are we looking at? I can't even find it on the map anymore. We'll pass on that. Okay, so let's have a look at... I want to have a look at the Institute of Study of War. Okay, so in terms of what the Russian Offensive Campaign Assessment from the Institute of Study of War stipulates... and we're just going to talk about the main effort on this video, is that Russian forces continued offensive operations on the Svato-Kremenina line and reportedly made gains yesterday, August 9th. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian forces repelled Russian attacks north of Snifkivka, 8 kilometers northeast of Kupiansk and northeast of Ivanka, 20 kilometers southeast of Kupiansk. Ukrainian Deputy Minister Hanna Malia reported that Russian forces have formed an offensive group that is attempting to break through Ukrainian defenses in an effort to advance directly to Kupiansk. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that assault groups of the 6th Combined Arms Army West Military District seized 4 Ukrainian positions and 5 observation posts near the Mankivka track, and that was around 15 kilometers east of Kupiansk. So all in close proximity of Kupiansk. A Kremlin-affiliated military blogger claimed that Russian forces are trying to build up on previous successes in Novosklevsky, 15 kilometers southwest of Svato, and attacked Ivanka and Snivkivka. A Russian military blogger claimed that Russian forces are clearing Ukrainian positions near Lyman Pershi. Apologies for the pronunciation, guys. I'm not even going to pretend to know half the pronunciations. I'll just try my best. Ukrainian Luhansk Oblast Military Administration head Artem Lysor reported that Russian forces are continuing to suffer significant casualties on the Svato-Kremenina line and have deployed medical staff of the 42nd District Military Hospital of the Russian Ministry of Defense to Svato to evacuate the wounded. Now, I remember talking about Svato 6 months ago, and that was an area of interest. Is it northeast of Bakhmut? Quote me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think it was in and around that area. Now, it was of significance because at the time Russian forces were encroaching on Bakhmut pretty quickly. We obviously know what happened to Bakhmut since, but Svato was quite an area of interest that I was wondering. Obviously, it seems like these areas have obviously had a lot of problems since doing all of these updates. I kind of wish I kept up to date with it all, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So, let me zoom in for you guys. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. You can see that, yeah. Now, Ukrainian forces reportedly continued to counterattack on the Svato-Kremenina line yesterday. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that Ukrainian forces launched unsuccessful counterattacks in the vicinity of these areas here, Guy. I'm not gonna wreck the name of those with my pronunciation. A Russian military blogger claimed that Russian forces repelled Ukrainian attacks along the line 12 kilometers west to 13 kilometers southwest of Svato. So pretty close in terms of military distances. Russian sources claimed that Ukrainian forces continued ground attacks near Kremenina but did not advance on the August 9th. A Russian military blogger claimed that Ukrainian forces unsuccessfully attacked near the Zaporizhzhia forest area south of Kremenina, so we got a bit of fighting in wood blocks and forests, FIWAF as we would say. Pretty difficult areas to fight in if you're not used to it. Now we've seen a lot of the footage coming out of Ukraine that, you know, Ukrainian soldiers, the foreign soldiers who are helping the effort are actually quite well versed in that anyway, so they haven't seemed to have had that many problems with fighting in woods and forests. From what I've seen, they've been quite successful. But on this mission, Ukrainian forces unsuccessfully attacked an area south of Kremenina. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that Russian forces repelled Ukrainian attacks near Terny, 17 kilometers northwest of Kremenina, and Evacuation, 10 kilometers southwest of Kremenina. So what does that look like on the map? So assessed control of terrain around Luhansk Oblast as of yesterday. So a lot of these areas that we've been talking about, guys. Slavyansk, Kremenina. Get my faithful pen out. And let me get one of my pointer tools out. There we go. Boom. So, Slavyansk. We've got Bakhmut obviously there. Svato. Here we go. Yeah. So, Svato, when I was originally looking at this whole thing, why did it? I don't know if the importance has changed from my opinion. But just looking at it, you can see that it's a logistical hub. There's a lot of I don't know if that's railways, I don't know if that's highways, but there's transport links heavily. So is a heavily dominant transport hub, so to speak, which obviously supports loads of these neighbouring places, Kremenina, Lyshansk, all the other areas in and around there. It's important for logistics. I don't think that's changed too much, so you can understand why that's an area of interest still. What's shocking to me is just how little has changed in terms of that front line. That front line hasn't changed an awful lot since the last time we talked about it. Granted, Bakhmut has changed significantly, but the whole line, holistically speaking, hasn't changed that much, which is crazy when you think about it. War of attrition is what it's turned into, troops. But that's that. I think I'll just see how this goes in terms of you guys wanting me to do these updates or not, because I go where you guys want me to. If you want to hear more from these and you want me to get my hands well and truly firmly back into Ukraine war and get my knowledge up to speed on it again, then let me know in the comments, because if I get the views and I get the comments that people want, then yeah, I'll heavily get back into it, guys, and get involved. I have missed speaking on it. I have missed getting up to date on it anyway. So maybe this is a way back. If you want to see it, guys, please let me know. Until then, I'll see you in the comments.